If you are ambitious, or if you're a dreamer who has big goals, then this is the video for you. Because in today's video, we will meet a man named Ferruccio Lamborghini, who defied all odds and created a multi-billion-dollar fortune despite being considered an uneducated farmer. But before we dive into the video, let me ask you a question. Do you think someone with a high school education can become a billionaire? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And while you do that, I will tell you about an offer that can level up your learning and earning game. If you want to succeed in life, you must learn from those who have done it before. What's the best way to learn from them? Simple. Read their books. Shortform has thousands of incredible nonfiction books. And you can get all of them in an easy-to-digest format that makes learning faster and easier than ever. They break down the most important concepts and ideas from each book into easily digestible pieces with highlights and summaries of each chapter. Now here's what's awesome. Shortform lets you add your own notes and highlights, so it feels like you rereading a physical book, and you can even connect ideas across different books, creating your own custom mental model. So whether you want to learn about business, self-improvement, science, technology, philosophy, or anything else, nonfiction is the place to be, and now is the perfect time to join. Because they are offering a special discount only for our viewers. So check the description below for more details, and let's come back to the video. In fact, many people underestimated him throughout his life and called him names like just a farmer. But he used those words to fuel his rise, and he proved them wrong. In the end, he created one of the most iconic supercar brands in history. But the story of how he did it is something that everyone needs to hear. Ferruccio Lamborghini was born in 1916 in a small farming town in northern Italy. His family owned vineyards, and he learned the value of quality craftsmanship from a young age. But from the moment Ferruccio could walk, he was fascinated by anything that had an engine. He loved tinkering around with small motors, taking things apart and trying to fix them. Even though his family wanted him to take over the family farm, Ferruccio didn't want that. He wanted to pursue his passion for engines. So he decided to go against his family's wishes and enroll in a technical college to become a mechanic. However, when Ferruccio graduated, he couldn't find a job anywhere. Most companies rejected him because he didn't have any work experience. So he started working as an apprentice at a small garage that repaired military vehicles. Here he sharpened his mechanical skills until he was eventually hired by the army and became a mechanic at a military airfield in Rhodes, Greece. Unfortunately, when World War II broke out, he was sent to fight in the war. When Italy surrendered, the German forces took control of the garrison where he was stationed, and Ferruccio decided to stay behind rather than leave and try to escape. With the Germans, he started his own small repair shop. Then after the Allied forces arrived, they captured him and imprisoned him. But they soon realized that he was a skilled mechanic and set him free, so that he could work for them and repair their vehicles. After a year of working for the Allies, Ferruccio was finally released from prison. Sadly, when he returned home, he found that his wife, Clelia, had passed away while giving birth to their only child, Tonino. Devastated by the loss of his wife and unsure of what to do, Ferruccio poured himself into his work. He went back to his hometown and started his own workshop with his childhood friend, Marino Filippini. Then one day his father came to him and asked him to build him a tractor, because his old tractor was broken and he couldn't afford to buy a new one. Ferruccio looked around the workshop and saw plenty of leftover military vehicles and equipment, including trucks and jeeps. Then an idea struck him. He would use those vehicles to create tractors for farmers. And since most farmers couldn't afford expensive gasoline, he would also ensure that the tractors ran on diesel fuel. To create the first tractor, he used the body of an armored vehicle, the chassis of a truck, and the engine of a jeep. And to make the engine run on diesel, he bought the Maurice engine from Britain, which was originally designed to run on diesel. Then he modified it to fit inside the tractor. And this was how Ferruccio created the very first Lamborghini tractor. He asked his father to co-sign a loan for him, so that he could purchase the necessary parts and tools to begin production. And luckily, his father believed in him and agreed. With the money, Ferruccio established his tractor company, which he named Lamborghini Trattoria, after himself and his father. As it turned out, Ferruccio's tractors were exactly what the market needed. And within no time, word of mouth spread like wildfire and orders started pouring in from all over Italy. Within 3 years, Ferruccio had turned his small workshop into a large manufacturing facility employing hundreds of workers. But as his tractor business boomed, he developed a passion for fast cars too. And soon he had a collection of Jaguars, Mercedes, Maseratis, and Ferraris. However, he wasn't satisfied with just driving those cars. He wanted to build his own. One day he was driving his Ferrari 250 GT and had some clutch issues. When he took the car to Ferrari for repairs, he noticed that the clutch they installed was identical to the one he used on his tractors. Except Ferrari charged 100 times more for the same part. Furious about this, he went straight to Enzo Ferrari and explained to him how they could improve the clutch and save costs. But Enzo Ferrari just laughed at him and said, "You're just a farmer or tractor driver. What do you know about making sports cars?" Embarrassed and angry, Ferruccio left the company and went home. On his way, he stopped at a small cafe, sat down and thought about what Ferrari had said. Then suddenly he felt a surge of confidence and motivation. He knew that he had the skills and knowledge to build a better car than Ferrari, so he decided to prove Enzo Ferrari wrong and create the Lamborghini sports car. He hired former Ferrari engineers and designers and built a state-of-the-art manufacturing facility. Then, in just 9 months, the first Lamborghini sports car, the Lamborghini 350 GT, was ready. The car had a powerful V12 engine, a 5-speed transmission, 4-wheel disc brakes, and an independent suspension system. The car was so advanced that it became an instant classic. And when Ferruccio unveiled it at the Turin Motor Show, car enthusiasts and critics alike were stunned. The first customers were so impressed with the quality of the car that they placed orders worth millions. Overnight, Ferruccio went from being known as a tractor manufacturer to being known as a maker of the finest sports cars in the world. And from there, he continued to revolutionize the auto industry. He gave his engineers the freedom to design and build whatever they wanted. And that's how one of his engineers created the Miura P400, first true supercar in the world with a rear mid-engine layout. Although initially hesitant, Ferruccio allowed the Miura to be released to the public, and it became a massive hit. After that, Lamborghini produced legendary models such as the Espada, Isaroma, Irako, and the Countach, the last of which became one of the most written about cars in history. Sadly though, external factors such as a massive tractor deal falling through in Bolivia and the global oil crisis crushed the automotive industry, and Ferruccio was forced to sell his tractor business. Later, he also sold a majority stake in Automobili Lamborghini to an Italian manufacturer, then completely sold his shares in the company to a French billionaire. Fortunately, the French billionaire struggled to keep the company profitable, so he sold the company to Chrysler in 1987. For a while, everything seemed fine, and Chrysler even invested millions into the company. But later they ran into trouble when their main plant burned down. Still, they tried to recover by outsourcing production. But that ended up costing them too much, and they had no choice but to sell Lamborghini. After Chrysler, several companies tried to buy Lamborghini, but none of them could figure out how to make the company profitable. But thankfully, Audi stepped in and purchased the brand. Under Audi's ownership, Lamborghini experienced a revival, releasing stunning models like the Gallardo, Huracán, and Urus SUV, which were received extremely well by critics and consumers alike. In 2019, Lamborghini reported record-breaking sales, especially in the US, where 67% of their cars were sold. Today, Lamborghini is valued at more than $11 billion and is considered one of the most successful supercar companies in the world. So that is the story of how Ferruccio Lamborghini turned his small workshop into a multi-billion-dollar fortune, proving everyone who doubted him wrong. The moral of the story is that no matter what other people say or do, if you have a clear vision and plan, you can achieve anything. Now, before you go, I want you to watch these 2 videos. They are powerful lessons from history's greatest leaders. Thank you for watching.